Hey guys, I'm Magnitudex for GamersBeverage, and this happens.
You have been stunned. Contract lost. Massacre.
So now that we got that out of the way, that was one of my earliest games today. I actually sat down and played some ACR. Decided to just go try to find some Assassinate matches. The game essentially just said that there are no available Assassinate matches, and it threw me into Deathmatch. So that was one of the first few games. I think it was either the second or the third game. I noticed one of my fans is actually in the lobby, Spacey Lady 01. So here's your shout out once again. And I remember the last time I gave you a shout out was your birthday, so I don't know how long ago that was, but nonetheless, as always, it's always great playing with fans. And you know, this is SmokeBomb Fest right here in Assassin's Creed Revelations. But not here to really talk about the gameplay, not really to you know, discuss anything that's going on. Maybe I'll just throw in a few remarks here and there, but as always, guys, just here to talk about what's going on with my life, what's going on with Assassin's Creed, I guess, and where my channel's heading, where everything else is heading. I know a lot of you are still probably waiting for my directorship packages, and I'll be honest with you guys, like, it's really hard for me to, you know, sit down and work on this stuff because there's a lot of stuff that I have to get done beforehand, and with all that, it's just, you know, it's a lot of time that I don't really have. I've been working 2 jobs. I work 7 days a week. I don't actually have any days off, and it's pretty much, you know, I'm working from the morning to night, and when I'm not working, I'm trying to spend a little bit extra time with my girlfriend before she goes back to school, and she goes to school about 4 or 5 hours away from the city where I live, so try to spend as much time as possible with her, and I try to get, you know, a few things done for my channel. And of course, you know, with the big E3 explosion about Assassin's Creed 3, I spent a lot of time working on that stuff, making some videos, making some, you know, the top 10 badass changes kind of series. I did already 2 videos, you know, I did one for single player and multiplayer. You know, some good and some bad feedback on those videos. I think a lot of people like the single player a lot more than they did the multiplayer, and then the fact with it is the multiplayer, there really wasn't too much information about the multiplayer on its own. You know, from apart from what we saw on the actual gameplay trailers, or not the trailers, but the gameplay demos that people were playing that were captured just by a regular camera or whatnot. So from essentially from what we know so far about the game itself, there's new personas, there's going to be a new map. The maps do have like a weather variant, much like in the actual single player, so we'll be able to actually see the weather change dynamically throughout the map. So we don't really know whether or not the environment will play into the actual assassinations themselves. I'm assuming that's just maybe a big rumor where some of the gaming journalists don't really know much better than that and just kind of use it. You know, maybe they saw something happen and are like, oh yeah, you can kill people with the environment. So not really been confirmed yet, so we won't really know till the actual game comes out, or maybe there's a beta or anything like that. A lot of people have been asking, you know, do you know anything about a beta? No, I don't, but from the last 2 years, from Brotherhood and from Revelations, I'm assuming since it's following trend, it's going to be on PlayStation 3. If you have a PlayStation Plus membership, it's probably going to be available to you, because PlayStation Plus is pretty much there for official, you know, releases of demos and betas and whatnot. So you know, probably with 99% certainty, it's going to be on PlayStation. It's probably going to be available for PlayStation Plus, and then whoever else has a beta key. And I'm going to try my best to get some hands on those. If I can't, you know, you guys can always go to the people that actually spend more time with the Ubisoft crew, and they speak to the developers and everything, and I'm sure they're going to have tons of beta keys for anybody that wants to play the game, if you're on PlayStation. So moving on, let's talk about other stuff about the Assassin's Creed 3 that was released. So multiplayer, of course, and I'll maybe do a separate video about Assassin's Creed single player, but for multiplayer, we know that there's new abilities that are going to be available to us, and one of the ones, I think it was Shield, where you're actually protected from, you know, certain attacks or abilities or perks or whatnot. So I think that's actually pretty good. It sounds like an interesting mechanic, even though it's got a 100-second cooldown, along with the smoke bombs that have been increasing cooldowns also. So that's going to be, you know, definitely a big change for a lot of people. You won't be seeing games like this one where I see a smoke bomb every like 10 seconds in the game, and you just keep hearing smoke bombs going off like crazy. You know, I really hope that they limit the amount of smoke bomb usage in the game. You know, these overpowered abilities need to kind of be controlled in a sense, and you can't have, you know, smoke bombs going off every 5 seconds in a game. So if I can, you know, definitely, you know, implement something myself, if I had the ability to do it, that's what I would do. I would, you know, increase the cooldown periods for overpowered abilities. Now, another ability, of course, is the poison dart, which I'm assuming is just the answer to another varied, you know, longer range weapon. And with that, you have the third ability slot, which is a ranged weapon ability slot. So yeah, for ranged abilities, essentially, you know, you got your throwing knives, you got your poison darts. I'm assuming maybe hitting gun will go in there. Whatever else is a long-ranged ability, I'm assuming that's where it's going to be headed. And you know, it's an interesting mechanic. I know they're shifting around a lot of the controls. You no longer need to hold R1 or the trigger button, or the left bumper, or man, I know nothing about Xbox, but the right bumper button and the X button to run. So you no longer have to do that. It's essentially you hold just the one of the bumper buttons, and you just press on the analog stick. However fast you want to go, that's how much you press on the analog stick, which should be interesting because that's how it's done in the single player apparently, and they've implemented that in the actual multiplayer itself. So you know, I'm wondering how it's going to turn out. You know, hopefully it's an exciting change. Hopefully it brings a new mechanic to the game. And, you know, maybe speeds will increase, people will run faster, maybe there'll be abilities where it will let you outrun somebody that's, you know, significantly outrun someone. Not just kind of like if you have a head run, or like you can pretty much just run away at your will. You know, we did have that in Brotherhood, where you can just, you know, get a chase expert, or whatever they were called. I don't even remember the names anymore because I haven't played that game in such a long time, or even Revelations, but something, you know, something interesting to the fact that would provide a new gaming mechanic, and it would obviously work against all of these kind of things that have broken the game that we see so far. You know, these smoke bombs constantly being thrown down, the smoke poison that you guys saw at the beginning of this video. Of course, that was one of the matches that I played, and it just happened right at the beginning of the game. I essentially got my pursuer spawned right, or sorry, not my pursuer, but my target spawn right next to me. And in this game, of course, the stun prompt comes up like a big flashing light, and it just lets everybody know that you are after them and they want to take you out. So that's another thing. And that reminds me, actually, the merge to kill stun button. Personally, I think that's going to be an excellent change to the game. I don't really know how it works, but from what I've heard from people playing it, you know, I know Loomer979 had mentioned it. He said it works really, really well. Like, so far from what he's played the game with, how much time he's spent with the game, he said it's worked perfectly. It's done its job. It's, you know, obviously it works perfectly for him to play the game, and I'm curious myself. I want to try it out. I want to see how it works. Hopefully once the beta comes out, I'll be able to play around with it and see if it actually does what it's supposed to do. If the change that was implemented, you know, actually does prevent people from pretty much seeing you pop up on the screen. You know, you're trying to be stealthy, you're trying to get into a blend group, and you're trying to hunt someone down, and anytime you do that, you have a big giant stun button prompting you right above your head. So when that happens, it's a little bit disconcerting, and it's a little bit discouraging in the game that you try so hard to you know, be incognito and, you know, try to hide from someone, that you end up just giving yourself away by this big stupid button that you don't really have any control over. So and I think that's one of the things that the developers are actually trying to implement the game, is give the player more control in the game. So I'm hoping with more control in the game that you'll be able to enjoy the game now, not just get frustrated with it every single time you play it, much like we do with Brotherhood and Revelations nowadays. I know I get super frustrated, especially the last 5 games that I played. This was one of the only ones that were actually pretty decent, and I did quite well in the game. It kind of got to the point where I played the first 2 games. I kind of had to learn how everybody's playing style was. I knew that it was heavy on smoke. One of the people was very heavy on throwing knives and trying to, smoke poison me the whole time. So I picked up on things like that, and I knew that I had to play it a little bit differently. I couldn't always just sit around and wait for my pursuer or my target to come up to me or to kind of stalk him down. I'd have to just pretty much make my way towards them and try to hunt them down. So I start panicking a little bit here at the end, and with the last couple seconds winding down, I decide I just need to go in for a kill. I see the prompt right above their head, and I take out Spacey Lady 01. So until later, guys, I am Magnitudex. As always, like and a favorite is appreciated. Check out the Assassin's Creed multiplayer show. Once the beta is out, that's where I'll be posting Assassin's Creed 3 multiplayer gameplay. So subscribe now just so you're ready for that. And if there's anything else, if you guys have any questions for me, you guys want to know what's going on with me or the directorship, leave your comments down below. And as always, stay thirsty. So peace out, take care, and hopefully I'll have another video for you guys very, very soon.